James Houston, 8 sacks. Half a sack more than Aiden Hutchinson, who has 7.5 sacks. Combined, him and Hutch have almost double the amount of sacks as Kayvon Thibodeau and Trayvon Walker. Combined. So let's just, long story short, boys, Detroit's got quite the front seven. Well, I would say the front four, really. You've got 2 edge rushers right now that are really damn good. Mm-hmm. And as much as I want to have the conversation about how good can James Houston be, I'm going to take the approach and say, I don't think he can be better than Aiden. I think Aiden offers more. You're seeing Houston really come in on passing downs, obvious passing downs, and he's still getting worked in. Is he a 3-4 down lineman? I don't think so. But can he be? I think the ceiling is limitless. I mean, you're looking at a guy that can be as dynamic as a Justin Houston, as dynamic as a Aldon Smith early on, if you recall. So I love what I'm seeing out of James Houston, but I really get the complete package and leadership out of Aiden Hutchinson. So I'm not going to sit here and say because he has 8 sacks in 6 games that he's better than a kid who all year long has been a menace, who's helped in the run support, who has 3 interceptions, who does a lot of other things than just get after the quarterback. And we need to keep in mind, when you play against the Lions, who's getting the most attention on the defensive front? Aiden Hutchinson.
Right.
So Houston is a benefactor. I don't think that should diminish what he's doing, but I think it's a good problem to have that, week 17. After 17 weeks, you're talking about a 6th-round draft pick having more sacks than your number 2 overall pick. That is a great problem to have, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Because I think both are excellent.
And it's a great problem to have, considering he has more sacks than the number 1 overall pick and the 5th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken. So, again, this is a good problem to have, and comparing the players is tough for me because they're different players, right? I mean, Aiden Hutchinson, what he's done against the run, there's different things, different elements that Aiden brings with his versatility than James Houston, right? James Houston's playing on 3rd downs. He's playing on, like you said, passing sets, allowing him just to bull rush, get after the quarterback. He's got amazing bend, which is something that's incredible. I mean, everybody talks about that. I think Taylor Decker has mentioned that before, too, going up against him in practice. He's just impossible to block. But with those 2 on the field together, I know James Houston is the problem, but those 2 together are a problem because teams, as these guys get older, they get more experience and they get another season under their belt. I do think these 2 are going to be a fantastic duo. Now, moving forward, for James Houston especially, actually looking back, it's crazy to think too, Adam, that James Houston was on the practice squad. Any team could have signed him. I mean, he could have been just plucked off your practice squad. He could have been given any other team this type of production.
What if I told you?
But he was brought back.
What if I told you?
Now you got Houston, the problem.
What if I told you that Aiden Hutchinson is a top 25 pass rusher, according to PFF?
Right.
Okay. Where do you think James Houston falls on that list? Top 100. Between 1 and 100, where's James Houston sitting at right now as a pass rusher? Not overall grade.
I say 15.
15?
Yeah.
You were close. He's 6th.
Oh, my God.
With an 89.4 rating. Or, excuse me, 89.2.
Just strictly getting after the quarterback.
He is 42 spots higher than Aiden Hutchinson is as a pass rusher. Now, Aiden's one of the higher graded cover edge rushers. He's one of the higher run defenders in the NFL. So overall, Aiden has been clearly the better player, but strictly as a guy that, hey, get in there, get after the quarterback, James Houston has been that and more. It's been phenomenal to watch. It's a great problem to have. We're talking about a defensive line that could bode and be as good for even longer than what line you had with Ezekiel Ansah. Because I think of Ansah, I look at James Houston and see the same thing. Untapped talent, untapped potential. Now, can he reach that potential? Can he put in the work and be that guy consistently? I don't know. That's ahead of him. I don't know that information. What I do know right now is he's a fucking problem. And I am here for it.
Yeah.
And I am here for it. I'll tell you that much. And you have a defensive line that could grow to be better than the line you had with Sue, Fairley, Ansah. And some of the veterans you had there at the time, I mean, this is...
And I think Houston makes up for, the second round debacles that the Lions have had. Now, Josh Pascal, 2 sacks last week, so he's looking better and better. But the whole Levi thing, like the fact that Brad's invested so much in this defensive line and with James Houston in the 6th round, it kind of makes up for that, right? Like Penei Sewell, one of the best offensive lines in football, and now you have a really, really young defensive line that you don't really know the ceiling of, right? All these guys are, 3 of them are in their rookie year. Aleem's in his 2nd. Man, these guys are going to continue to get so much better, and I'm going to use the same phrase I've been using. These guys aren't going nowhere. They're on rookie deals, and they're going to be together for years to come. So it's about keeping them together, of course, which Brad's going to eventually get there when he gets there. But as of right now, these guys growing together, they're going to be dangerous.
You know who else is still learning and growing? Josh Pascal, 2nd round pick.
Oh, yeah, and look what he just did last week.
Got a sack.
So
2, I believe, actually, right?
Yeah, 2 sacks.
So, look, you know what? We can talk about the Green Bay game all we want, but Detroit, I swear to God, this was exactly the thought before the season, was that your GM was going to add a ton of talent, and he did, and clearly it's paid dividends now, especially down the stretch, and that you would be a 7, 8, maybe 9-win football team, and you've delivered on that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we can all be upset about the 1-6 start. That's unacceptable. Can't happen, shouldn't happen next year. Can't happen ever again. But this 8, 9, 10 game stretch now, you have shown all the potential in the world. What do you do with it next season? What do you do with it in the offseason? Who do you add to this team? Who do you get rid of? Who do you re-sign?
Right.
That to me is why I was so confident in this team going into the season, because of Brad Holmes. Did I have my questions about Dan Campbell? I absolutely did. Do I still do? Honestly, I do have questions, because I've seen 1-6. I've also seen 7-2, and I'd prefer that 7-2 is more real than the 1-6, which it seems to be.
Now with the emergence,
but now I need to see it next year, right?
Yep.
So next year I need to see a 10-7, 11-6 season. And if I get that, I mean, Dan Campbell to me has earned the right not only to be the coach. After that, you put together that type of season, you contend, you win the division. You are in my good graces for a long time. So again, can he learn from his mistakes? I think he has. Can he avoid a slow start? We'll know next season. Are there still questions about some of the things he can or can't do? Sure. That's any coach, though. You're going to have that conversation whether it was him or anybody else you brought here. Every coach, until they make it and prove it, are questioned, right? There was once upon a time we questioned Kyle Shanahan. We questioned even Sean McVay. We questioned a lot of these guys. Could they get it done? And it always changes, by the way. Because before it's, are you even a good coach? And then when you prove that you are, it's, oh, well, can you win the division? Oh, well, you did. Well, can you win playoff games? And then you do that. Well, can you get to the Super Bowl? And then you get there, but you don't win it. And then it's like, well, can you even win the Super Bowl? So the expectations will always change, guys. Go look at Sean McVay. Go look at Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan. You'll see it's not just in this market. It's everywhere. So if Dan does deliver on what we believe next year will be, your expectations, rightfully so, are going to go up. And it's going to be a great thing. And I really can't wait for it. I really can't.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the offseason.
Quick correction, too, thanks to the chat. James Houston, since they cut him, he's not on the rookie deal no more.
No, he's not. Yeah,
it's a short deal, so they're going to have to...
I think it's a 2-year deal?
Yeah, after next season, he's a free agent. So
yeah, they will likely rework his contract midway into next year.
You got to.
If he's playing at this level.
Yeah, no
and
question.
They're going to have to probably give him a 4 or 5 year deal worth 20, 25 million, maybe even more.
Yeah, lock him up.
Who knows? Who knows? He's going to cost a lot if he keeps getting a sack a game, though. I mean, that's ridiculous.
I think he's averaging like 1.3 his average. Like, take all the games he's played. It's unreal.
Insane.